Okay, I'm gonna catch up on a few of those things that we had in here from our initiating the battle. If you remember, I said build character in future because we didn't have a character yet. There's a few things the character needs, and that's going to be in. We'll put it in our stats. They need to have a game object. We're going to call this data. And that's going to be a link to the actual object that we're dealing with in all the UI. They also need a health bar. They need their ATB bar. They'll need a limit bar, which I mean we haven't built that yet, actually. You know, because we have the ATB. No. Yeah, we could stick it on the. Oh yeah, I did put it. Okay, never mind. We do have it. So we have slider and limit. Okay. So we need those things, right? So if I go into this guy over here, or back into here, we can now, you know, after we've created this character and created our health bars, set FSM game object into our created character. So that's the guy we created here, right there. And he has an FSM called stats with a capital. Sure to spell it right. And we have a, I wonder if I could see if it'll let me do this. Well, yeah, usually when I'm dealing with the templates, it doesn't like letting me do this. So set FSM game object. Let's see if it'll let us do that. Yeah, see, that'll work. So there's that. Don't worry about that warning. That's only temporary. The data we're using is the current character. Right, so we want to set the data as the current character. Current character. Just going to copy this. We want to set the health bar to, I think we called it current health. Current health, current ATB. Alright, copy that, paste it before again, and we want to do ATB with current ATB. We don't need to worry about that limit because it's actually part of the ATB bar. So we have our data into the created character, and we have our ATB bar into the created character, and we have our health bar into the created character. And now, when this guy gets created, we will have that. So we have, let's make sure we have the right stuff here. So we have this stuff. We know we need a few more. I got to clean this one up too eventually. I'm not going to do it right now, but we'll make it in the next video. So we need a, if we look at our HUD, our battle HUD, we have this thing called an action menu we made. If you remember, we have the action menu there. There we go. And then we also have the action list. So I'm actually going to take both of those. We want the action menu. That can be this one. And the action list. Now that's that one. All right, let's close those ones up. This one should probably start off, I think. So when we start off, the first thing we're going to want to do is grab references. So I'm going to get FSM game object from our player data, which is the manager. So we need the action menu, and the action list. And now I'm going to go over here and say this is the FF manager. So we grab our references. So we also need a variable now. We actually could tie this one into our data. But for now, I'm going to just stick it over here. I'm going to make an array. This is going to be called actions, and I'm going to put it into the input. So we can have, say, not 41, say 4. So we might want, say, attack. Oh, whoops, I made that a float. We want to make that a string. There we go. We can say attack, maybe defend, item, and run away. All right. So now we have an array of actions, and those could all be different for every different class. We can also change them on the fly, which we will do. Okay, in this guy, we have our stats. Let's take a quick little looky-see. We have our current health. Oh, we do have limit. There we go. We do have it. I wasn't too sure if we actually put that in. So if we start off, and we now know of all these things, right? Because we're taking all the references from everything, building up our little library, and we have what we want to build here. And we also need, we have the action list. So really, we need to, get FSM float. Let's grab this first. Let's actually put this right over here. So because this will actually change things. From our stats, the limit. And we can just call that limit. And we'll from our data. All right, so let's go here and say, okay, if float compare limit is 1, if that's equal, we have limit. We'll even use the greater, have limit, and we'll say no limit. All right, so if we have limit, or if we have no limit, we want array get next, and now we need another variable, our Final Fantasy action, which, if you remember this guy, it is virtually nothing. It's a button. That's about it. There's no logic. There's nothing on this thing, right? So it's literally just a button. Very uneventful, and you can change the text of it. Or not the text, the image of it. Okay, so we're going to go through our actions, and we want to loop, and we're going to have it done. That's just the way we run our arrays. And the current is just going to be we'll call it an action string, because that's what it's going to be. Let's put the done over here. Let's put the loop over here. So during the loop, as we run through and we're checking these action strings, we want to create an object. We want to create our action. The parent is going to be the action list, and this is the created action. Okay. Where are we here? Oh, geez. You know what? I'm putting this in the stats. This is supposed to be in this guy. Sorry about that. Just copy and paste it over. No biggie. Because we want this guy here to take over for this. We're not actually going to use the start. There. I mean, we still have all of our variables and so forth. And oh wait, no, because this guy's going to have the stats gets that. Okay, so we do have to change one little thing, but okay, we'll deal with that after. No biggie. All right, so anyways, as we go through our action list, and we've created our action, it should be under the parent. I'm just going to set the position. And I'm also going to do that scale, because sometimes I just seem to have that issue for some reason. Of the created action, we want the scale to be 1s. And we want the position. I mean, we shouldn't have to worry about this, but like I said, I've had issues in the past, so I mean, it's not like it's going to hurt us to have it. Okay, so now we've created it. Now let's get child. Put that underneath of the created action. And the child's name is text. And that's the action text. And UI text set text of action text to the action string, which is what this is. So more or less, we loop through this array, we create a button, we change all the buttons so the text matches, like we create 4 buttons, so the text matches these, and these are all parented underneath in our battle HUD on our action window, which has the vertical layout group. Alright, so that's a mouthful to say. And that's it. We just loop back. So if we have, actually, we should throw this in here just because. So if we have limit, I'm going to array set actions at index 0 to limit. And then I'm going to come down here. And you know what? I'm going to put this also here. If we have no limit, and I'm going to say this to be attack. So this one here is kind of like a default. It's going to be an attack. I mean, technically you can take this part out. You don't need to use it, but I'm putting it in. So now we have, it can change based on our actual limit bar. Our button's going to be different. So we create all our things. Here, the other thing we want to now do is send event to ourselves under the status. And I think we called it cycle. Yeah, we called it cycle. All right, so just to cycle, and then that's it. So that's this is, and so this will get called every time it's their turn to select a turn, more or less. It is going to run through. And I think there's a few more things we want to probably add to that, such as here we should probably activate the action menu as well. And let's go into this guy. Okay. Let's go back into here real quick. So we want to set, because we're putting this stuff into the stats, and it should technically go in actions. But you know, I mean, it could go in stats as well, though. I mean, because I think with the way I set it up, we end up using it in both places, so that's probably okay. And I think from here we could probably get FSM game object from the stats. You know, get things like the data stored in data, paste stats. Let's get the health bar stored into, apparently we don't have health bar. What? How does this one have a health bar? If we don't have a health bar, we just copied it. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, we just copied the actions, right? Right. So actually, here's another one though, is we get, okay, well we do already have that. I didn't think I had that. Here I am all crazy. So actually I think that's pretty much all that's really needed. Actually, I'm going to put it over here just to make sure we get it every turn. Move it right to the top. It's not going to cost us all on the performance. Oh. All right, so I think that's probably good though. This is the start of how we start setting up a turn, and it builds. When this thing comes up, like I said, like this will build this window, and this window will have all those actions laid out all nice and neat for us, which we can then click on, and we'll see how we get into that whole bit.